probably the last one is common sense, and that, you know, you say, well, how do you treat common sense? You don't. You're sort of either born with it or you're not. You know, if you don't know a difference from, I'll often say, I won't say it on the air with you, but if you know the difference between a dollop of horse manure and a dollop of vanilla ice cream, you'll never get it if you have to ask. You just won't. I used to have a boss tell me that all the time. Say, I can't teach you that. You know? It's called the school of hard knocks. You got to take a beating now.
Yes.
You know. So there's 9 C's. I was going to make a 10th one for was all 9, and then there was crisis at the end. Crisis. How have you done all this, Mr. Leader, in a crisis? Have you ever been tested?
Yeah.
Have you ever had to meet a payroll? Have you ever had to manage people? Who were your mentors? That's what we should be doing now with these candidates. Who are your mentors? I'd like to know about who you grew up with.
Who influenced you? What was your family like?
My father.
Who are your friends?
My father first, mentor 1. I do a whole chapter on that. My father first. Charlie Beecham second, who taught me common sense, and McNamara third, who taught me discipline. But my father taught me optimism. There's a guy who believed in America, by the way.
Okay. Here, McNamara raises this question. As you know, David Halberstam, late David Halberstam, wrote a great book called The Best and Brightest.
Best and the Brightest. I knew David. Great book, by the way.
A central character was Robert McNamara.
Yeah.
Robert McNamara, and I'm asking this not to condemn him, but to raise the question that we face today. Robert McNamara came to Washington as considered to be the smartest guy in the class.
Yeah, he
was. He'd gone to Harvard Business School. Lyndon Johnson came to the meeting and said, I like that. He went to Sam Rayburn and said, I like the guy with the stay comb in his hair. Talking about McNamara. But
right.
he was the guy that believed in the Vietnam War.
Yeah.
So how do you input in there, it didn't begin with a C, just simply wisdom?
Yeah, we probably didn't have enough savvy. Yeah, he did what his boss, the President of the United States, wanted him to do. It was McNamara's war. It was not Lyndon Johnson's war.
No,
is this new war here? Is it Rumsfeld's war or is it George Bush's war, Iraq?
What do you think? Or Dick Cheney's war?
I think he's the de facto president, Cheney. I think, yeah.
What makes you think that?
Because he and Rumsfeld were like this, and they were the two. That was the axis of good, I guess. But I think he runs the country, basically. That's my feeling. I can't prove it. I know on energy, he's all for oil. He's an oil man, by the way, just Halliburton.
Halliburton, right.
Yeah. I guess we need leadership in the White House first. And I said, if a guy's going to run for president, I want to know your team. I'm going to run a ball club, and I'm going to get to the World Series. I want to know every pitcher. I want to know the catcher. I want to know who's the middle relief for I want to know all that. Why can't I have a guy running for president say, I am going to appoint Richardson. I'm going to appoint Joe Biden, my Secretary of State.
Right.
He's had 30 years of foreign experience. He'll compliment me. I'm going to give you my whole team. They say, you can't do that.
Or I'll make
politics. Are you crazy? You can't name your VP. Why? What's the big secret? Well, it's lousy politics, they keep telling me. So maybe that's what's wrong with the country, is lousy politics.
You entertain this. Can an independent win?
Yeah.
Tip would have said no, wouldn't he?
Tip would have said no, but the answer directly, yes. A good candidate like that could win. Why not? You become the chief executive of the world. Commander-in-chief is another thing completely. But you got to be a CEO. You got to think that way. And that means you've got to understand business and economies of the world.
Yeah, but as soon as you say that, and without, this is the point that many people raise. Dick Cheney came, if you believe the war has done great damage to America, as you do,
yeah,
and
sure
said so, and you didn't even vote for George Bush the second time because of that, Dick Cheney came to the White House as vice president, formerly a CEO. Don Rumsfeld came, a former CEO. Both successful. Both successful.
Yeah.
Now, there's also a thing called arrogance. Now, whether they had it or not, there's that, too. People, you can be, as you too smart.
Maybe they're power happy. Maybe that was their fault line. They didn't know how to handle power. They had no character.
Where do you put humility?
Way up there, opposite of arrogance. We've been an arrogant nation. You go to Europe, you travel. They think the U.S. is nuts. They think we're crazy. They don't like the administration. They love Americans. They'd love to get a green card, of course, to come here.
Right.
But no humility, no acceptance of let's talk it over. cool the rhetoric. I said a couple times, fire the damn speechwriters. What do you get this shock and awe stuff and talk to people that way? That's not right. How can you get a communication going if you talk that way? And you start your term with axis of evil will be Iran and North Korea and Iraq. Really? Iraq didn't have nuclear stuff. The other two, the priority's wrong.
Right.
I said, running the company, I always said, if you have good people and set priorities, nothing else matters. That's all you do as a chief executive.
That's what Warren Buffett says.
You say, but that's not easy to find. Where do you find these people in your team? I want to know who they are. Surround yourself with them. They're out there someplace. So anyway, but humility is...
Here you are with a cigar. Are you still smoking cigars?
I smoke maybe one a day. When I was going bankrupt, I got up to 5 a day at Chrysler, but I had to chew on something. I had a little rag or something. I do one a day, and I could get rid of them, too. I still get some Havana cigars now and then. Yeah, I'm like Mark Twain. If I cannot smoke cigars in heaven, I shall not go. Mark Twain said. He was such a cigar smoker.
Are you prepared to say that?
No, I'll go. Anytime. I don't have any control over that.
Lee Iacocca's book is written with Catherine Whitney.
Yes.
Is Where Have All the Leaders Gone? He talks about a whole lot of things here in the same manner that he has talked on this program. I am pleased to have him here and to see him again.
Charlie, thank you for having me. You're a great guy.
Thank you. There's one other thing I should mention, and you have to educate me on this. You raise a lot of money and give a lot of things, and maybe this book, the royalties for this book go to a foundation you set out after your wife died at the tender age of 53.
Yeah, 56, really.
56.
Yeah.
And what was it? What's the foundation, and what does it do?
It's trying to cure diabetes in its 25th year. We've had some breakthroughs. If you were a mouse, I've got you covered, because in mice we cured diabetes. Now we got to translate it. Just finished this month, raising the $11.5 million to do clinical trials with diabetic blood. And we're close. Don't want to build up hopes too much, but that's my passion in life. I promised my wife. Didn't save her, but in my lifetime I would do this somehow. Still an optimist. We've got to crack at it. Not naive to think that one person alone cures a disease, but again, leadership. You got to put a team together.
That's right.
You know.
And we all have to be optimists too.
Yeah, you have to be. Yeah, I'm an optimist, really. Of course, now I hit 82.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When's your birthday?
October 15th, 1924. I got through 75 years in that century. I'm on a new century. Bob Hope used to say, if you want to live a long time, get a massage every day and eat a lot of fruit every day. Mm-hmm. And he'd also say, if you can have sex every day, that would help too. And I said, 2 out of 3 ain't bad, right, Bob?
Lee Iacocca, thank you. Great to see you.
Good to be with you.
Thank you.
All the best to you.
We'll be back. Stay with us.